Hey everybody, Austin here again with another Let's Play video. Today, it's actually one of my favorite Genesis games that you probably did not expect. It's Sub Terrania for the Sega Genesis. This is a sort of 360 degrees, I don't even know what you would call these games. Gravity-oriented space flying shooter game? I have no idea. The most I can compare it to is games like Solar Jetman, which Solar Jetman was, I believe, an 89 or 90 game, released by Rare for the NES. And there's been a bunch of other games like that throughout the years, over time, including Gravitron 2 on the PC from about, 7 or 8 years ago. Yeah, Sub Terrania is just one of those games that a friend had actually let me borrow back in the day, and he sort of like walked me through how to play it, because otherwise the game would have been really difficult to learn, and I just got hooked to it. It was just one of those games that had great aesthetics. It had a great soundtrack by Jesper Kyd. It definitely makes use of the Genesis hardware. They did a great job of showing off what the system was able to do. There's some pre-rendered graphics. The animation is just superb in this game. You know what animation there is. It's very, very well done. And it's not just a technical showpiece, but it's also a fun game. If you're into these sort of, memorization-heavy games. The game also does require some skill. It requires some thought as you're playing, because your ship can actually get destroyed very, very quickly, either through slamming into objects or through running out of fuel. So there's a lot of things going on in this game, but believe it or not, the game's actually not very long. It's a relatively short game. We should be able to beat this within a half an hour. So here we go. We do have some multiple difficulty modes. If you're brand new to the game, I would put it on easy mode. I would definitely put it on easy mode, trust me. Learn the game that way, then work your way up to normal, and then hard. Hard is basically the same as normal, I think, except the gravity is just crazy hard. Like, this game has gravity no matter what difficulty level you're on. So if you just fly up into the air and then stop moving, your character's going to just slowly drop down. And as the levels go on, the gravity gets stronger and stronger. And so by the end of the game on normal, you're really fighting with the gravity. On hard mode, you're fighting with the gravity pretty much immediately as you start the game. So it gets pretty crazy by the end of the game. I don't think I've ever actually beaten the game on hard. Not that I've really tried. For those of you guys that love 16-bit, awesome music, this has a sound test menu for every track in the game, which is pretty awesome. I've spent many hours in the sound test menu on this game. I'm one of those people that will put up a sound test menu on a video game and just let it play as I do stuff around the house. Something I did as a kid, and I still do it as an adult. Alright, so let's jump right into the game. So for those of you guys that are new to the game, you probably want to read each of these pre-mission screens. They tell you exactly what you need to do in each stage. Now, some levels get kind of complex, and so you're not going to memorize or understand all of the objectives the first time you play it. So the game will take you multiple playthroughs to try to get used to and try to beat. But we're going to skip it, because I know exactly what to do in the game. This was actually one of my most played Genesis games back in the day. I do still revisit it every now and then. So in Sub Terrania, you can basically move in any direction, and you do that by pressing B and then pressing left or right on the D-pad. You move very, very fast, so what you might want to do when you first start playing is just tap your acceleration button. And then if you want to just go down, don't even do anything, because gravity is always pulling at you. You can literally just fall down. And when you just fall down like this, you don't really waste fuel. If you look in the top left-hand portion of the screen, you get two bars. One's for fuel, one's for mega. Mega is actually just your main shot. If it charges up, you can unleash a blast. Like that. That's my mega shot. And you basically just charge that up by not doing anything. And just like a lot of other action shooter games, you got enemies, you've got objects you can control. Like if I shoot these, they go in a certain direction, like so. So this is basically your training level in a way. It's not too complex, but chances are new-time players will have trouble with it because the mechanics are interesting. So here's one thing you can do with this is use your mega on it and then get off safely like that for first-time players. But when you get really good at the game, you can just fly through the levels really fast, and that's one of the things I've always liked about Sub Terrania is that you play it really slow when you're first experiencing the game, you're new to it, you're trying to learn it, but when you get really good at it, you just fly through the levels at insane speeds, and it's just very, very satisfying to do that. So down here, we're going to actually have a weapon upgrade. And you'll notice that that canister was a red color. The canisters can actually be 3 different colors. They can be red, blue, or green. If you pick up the same color, you'll actually upgrade your weapon. If you pick up a different color, you stay at that same weapon level, but you'll change colors. I actually just prefer the red shot, so I just stick with the red shot. So this is sort of our first boss in a way. There's a couple bosses throughout the game. I don't really consider them bosses in this game. I just consider them obstacles we have to get by. In the case of this level, you have to destroy this dude if you want to get your prisoners of war on this stage. So, you know, each level has a variety of different objectives. Some objectives you have to get some pals. Some objectives you have to, or some levels you have to get the sub-tanks. Sub-tanks are necessary to actually, I guess, take on the last couple of levels in the game. There's a bunch of different objectives throughout each level. A lot of this stuff, like this icon right here, is actually an extra life. So that's not necessary to get, but it's good to get. So when I defeated that boss, it blew open this wall up here, and there's my sub-tank and some teensy tiny little prisoners of war. And those are a part of the mission, and you have to get them if you want to accomplish your mission. Now, if you fail your mission, I don't remember if it's a game. I don't think it's a game over. I think you just lose a life. It's been a while since I failed a mission, so maybe we'll do that on this Let's Play. Not intentionally, of course, because Sub Terrania actually gets quite challenging in the last couple of levels in the game. So it's the kind of game where, like, I don't want to die intentionally just to show you guys. So these guys will just ram you up into the ceiling. They will do a ton of damage. So you want to just sort of take them out from the side if you can. I picked up some missiles, and I'm going to go ahead and try to pick up all the items I can, because it'll make my life on the final stage a little bit easier. If I can save all my missiles for that last level, then life will be easier. So there's a total of, it's either 9 stages in the game. And the 9th stage is basically just like a gauntlet. You basically take all your skills you've learned throughout the course of the game and have to use them. So this right here, you actually have to get these plates and drop them. You can drop them by pressing A. Pressing A switches through your inventory. And you can see I'm actually playing a lot faster now, and that's intentional. Normally when I play this game, I play really quickly. And I was dumb. I forgot I had to go here. I'm too busy talking. And not paying attention. So because I did that, screw it. We'll just fly down really fast regardless. Oh, shoot. I had switched to my missiles. I didn't want to do that. That was my bad. So something to note on hard mode is that these items you have to collect, they cannot touch any walls or anything. They'll destroy and you'll fail your mission. So normal mode has the benefit of, well, you not having to worry about that. So this up here, you need to sort of reflect this laser up like that. And then you have to drop the attachment. You can actually drop the attachment during the animation there, or the sort of scripted scene. So you guys didn't actually see it being dropped, but I did drop it manually myself. Now the fuel canisters and the shield canisters, you need to be careful with those, because you can destroy them if you shoot them. So if you get your mega shot charged up, you need to be careful. There it goes. See, I just dropped it intentionally. You need to be careful about where you shoot it, because as you see, your mega shot goes in multiple directions. You can also kill prisoners of war with it. So if you need to collect a certain amount of PALs for your mission completion, make sure you're not killing them by accident, because that'll actually cause your mission to fail. On normal mode, not every level requires you to get every single prisoner of war. They might only require you to get half of them, or 2/3 of them, or something like that. But you need to be careful about that regardless. Because again, if you fail, I think you might have to do the whole stage over again. I don't remember. And if you're going to be playing reckless like me right here, be very careful about slamming in the walls, because Sub Terrania is the kind of game where it's the kind of game where you can actually get stuck on like a little corner of the wall and just pretty much just get into this rhythm where you die almost instantly on it. Not from like a single big hit, but like the game will register a ton of tiny little hits really, really quickly in the matter of like a second or two, and your ship will just die completely. There's another extra life. There's an extra life. You get extra lives a lot in this game, actually. So here's kind of our second boss, if you want to count it as a boss. Again, I don't really see them as bosses, just really big enemies. Not too hard if you do it just right. So you need to destroy this thing down here, and I believe our sub-tank is down here in this bottom left-hand corner. And I love the soundtrack in this game, guys. Like, it's just so eerie. But it's moody, but it's also got good beats too. You know, it's just, oh, it's awesome stuff. Whoa. Shield low. Whoa, that was really close. Now I have to be careful going back up here, because this acid that's dropping will actually hurt me. So that was close. So I'm gonna actually, my shield is almost done. So I'm gonna take it nice and slow for the rest. You know, you could just sort of tap your way with the acceleration, and then when you need to go down, just literally don't do anything. The gravity will just pull you down. You won't waste any fuel. Normally, I like to blaze through these parts, like that zigzag corridor area. I love just like flying through it at top speed, both going up and down. But, you know, I don't want to lose any lives. I want to save every life I have for the end. Now, I could have actually gone up to the top where the acid was dropping from, and I think there was an extra canister up there. Either it was like fuel or it was shield or something like that. But I didn't really want to risk it. So this level is where things start getting a little more complex. It's still not super complicated, all things considered. So we got some prisoners of war here. Back in the day, I would always, not always, but a lot of times I would just kill some prisoners of war there by complete accident. So you don't really want to go in to every situation guns blazing if you're not familiar with the game. We got some enemies I want to kill here. Unfortunately, I can just sort of sit here perched and not waste much fuel. You do still use a tiny bit of fuel no matter what. Like, technically your ship is still powered up. It's on. The ignition is engaged, basically. And so even if you just sit there and you don't do anything, you are going to burn up fuel still, just much, much slower. So we basically picked up this weapon in the top right-hand portion of the screen to blow through that shield to get this sort of spiky item thing. I'm going to try to come up here, get this fuel, and hopefully I don't die in the process. I'm really close. Oh, that was really close. Your fuel gauge is on empty, not when it's actually empty, like when you can't see the gauge anymore. It's actually like the last pixel or two. is when you're technically empty on fuel. So we have to drop the spike into that thing, which reveals the sub-tank. And then we need to get these prisoners of war here. And that does it for our mission. And we've got one more cavern stage, like brown cavern stage like this. And then we go to the last few levels of the game. So yeah, as you can see, if you know what you're doing, the game's actually not that difficult. Well, it's not that it's not that difficult. It's not that long. That's what I meant to say. So again, this is a game I played quite a bit over the years, and so as such, I don't have too much of a problem with it, although I did practice this on stream a few weeks back, so it is still fresh in my mind. If it's the kind of game where, like, if I take a break from it for a long period of time and I come back to it, I still kind of know what I need to do, but I don't know the exact placement of all the items and stuff like that. So it is the kind of game I do need to practice. And I didn't mention these rails here. These rails will let you traverse the area without really burning up much fuel. You still burn up a little fuel, remember, but not as much as if you were just flying manually. Alright, so I actually don't really want to use that fuel. Actually, I might have to. Let me destroy this thing first, then go back down, get the fuel. God, this soundtrack is so good too. It's like, I don't know. It's not going to be for everybody, but I like the dark, eerie soundtracks like this with, you know, good drum patterns and stuff like that. It's just good stuff. It's basically electronic music, you know, it's just, it's great. I love it. And I definitely credit games like Sub Terrania with, you know, my... Ooh, see, that was bad. See, that's exactly what I was explaining against earlier. If you slam into something, you might get caught up in that object and you'll die almost instantly. Not because you took one big hit, but because you got caught on the enemy, and the game basically registers a ton of tiny little hits really quickly. But like I was saying, I really credit Sub Terrania. Ooh, I almost did it again. I really credit games like Sub Terrania with, like, sort of influencing my taste in music. At least in the case of Sub Terrania, my taste in, say, electronic music. So it's really one of the best sounding Genesis games from, like, a technical standpoint. Now, musically, again, it's not going to be for everybody. See, it says mission accomplished, but I don't really want to, and I'm going to have to lose a life. I'm not going to get through this. Yeah, I ran out of fuel. So, I'm actually down to weapon level 2, because when you die, you do lose a level. So I want to come down here and get this weapon level, get it back up. There we go. So we're back up to level 3. You can actually go to level 4, but the only way you can get to level 4 is by picking up a canister on level 8. So you're not at level 4 for much of the game, really, and it's not something I actually actively go for, because usually going for it means death if I... yeah. So this is where things start getting a little more complicated. For one, the gravity is just crazy strong now. But you also have to start dealing with water, and there is an item you get in this game which reverses the gravity in water segments. It's just, yeah. So if it was hard enough for you to just play the game as is, it's going to be even harder once you have to start worrying about, you know, gravity in the water and reversing the gravity. And it's not really gravity in water, it's water pressure is what sucks you down. You got to watch out for these spider things too. They will just throw you into the walls. You have to destroy that. Watch these fall down. Grab this fuel. So as you can see, the gravity is just so much stronger now, which makes it so that oh, I got the anti-pressure. Okay, so you can use that, and then it'll just pull you down. It lasts about 5 seconds, and then when it wears off, you got to use it again. And I got a bomb, which is what I need for the last part of this stage. And the anti-pressure only works underwater. It doesn't work up in the air, unfortunately. That would actually be really interesting if they let it work outside of the water. And you would just like... It would be like anti-gravity. And you would just like fly upwards instead of down. That'd be pretty funny. Alright, that's kind of annoying, guys. Come on. It's like those fish almost just come out of nowhere. So you have to constantly be switching between your weapons and... Alright, I need to be really careful. Shoot, I knew that was going to happen. Wasn't paying attention. I didn't even realize my shield was that low, either. Did I get this already? I did not. Use some missiles right here. You drop the bomb right there, and... Bam! All the water disappears. Whew. It's close. It looks like if you die, some of the fuel canisters come back, because that fuel canister up top was there when I exited, so that's interesting. Even though I had collected it on my way back. So there's actually a... right here. This is my weapon level 4. Maybe I should go for it. I didn't even realize it was just right here. I thought it was a little bit farther out. We need to come down here. There's a special weapon we need. And we're going to use this for the last room, which we can actually see over to the right. And you guys will see what I mean once we get there. And there should be a fuel tank up here somewhere, I think. Nope, missiles. We don't really need missiles, we need fuel. Yeah, I pretty much always die here. You've got to get that just perfect. So going for your level 4 weapon, probably not the best idea because you run out of fuel. But you actually end up going past the level 4 weapon again. You actually undo this shield. And as such, you'll fly back over the level 4 weapon area. So bam, shield's gone, or at least that part of the shield's gone. Let's come over. Let's not come over here, okay. Oh, come on. Don't do this to me. We're running out of fuel again. We're gonna die. Ah. Yeah, we died. We ran out of fuel. See, that's rough, man. You gotta do it just right. But since we died, we get to start back here and not have to worry about the laser thing since we disabled it. But that's not good. I'm losing way more lives than I wanted to, which... If I've lost this many lives, there's the possibility we might not actually beat the game. I mean, as you guys know, I don't typically make guarantees to beat games, but this was definitely a game I wanted to beat. Because, yeah, it's Sub Terrania. There's actually a couple different ways you can do this. You can just fly below. Or you can try to sit in the water. Really, I wanted to get this fuel first, but... So you'll notice there's also an acid level meter on this level. And basically what that does is if you're under that red water for too long, the acid, I guess, will eat through your ship and you'll die instantly. Alright, so over here, we need to come here. And what's really cool is we get a power-up that gives us infinite fuel right here. So we no longer have to worry about fuel, which is amazing. And I think there's going to be an extra life down here, so... And at this point in the game, you don't have to use the anti-pressure anymore. I mean, you can if you want, but I find it easier just to try to fly normally. Nice and slow. You definitely want to do it nice and slow on this stage. So, just to FYI, guys, this is the final level in the game. So, even if we don't beat the game, we've made lots and lots of progress. Glorious progress. Alright, so there's going to be a key over here we need to get. Having your mega shot charged up at all times is really good in this level, by the way. There's lots of enemies that can just kill you really fast, but there's also a lot of enemies you can kill in one hit with a nice placed mega shot. Like those guys. You'll notice I try to stay at an angle because you'll keep moving forward. I really try not to die here. Normally I get wrecked by these crab dudes. And I think I need to go the top way now. The bottom way is a dead end. And we actually need to use the anti-pressure up here. There's going to be a key we have to get. There we go. We're actually getting close to the end of the level already. This level's very intense, by the way. It probably doesn't look like it, but I'm trying to do some like crazy maneuvering here to stay off the walls because my shield will get depleted very, very quickly. Now I think there's an extra life down here. Which again, I want every extra life I can get, because the final boss is really a pain. Oh, shield. Well, good enough. I'll take shield. Alright, come on. So we're pretty much just about at the final boss. And there is going to be a checkpoint up here, so if we die, we actually start back off at the final boss. And if you look in the bottom left-hand portion of the screen, it'll actually tell us we're there. Yeah, we're in Sven's cave. Sven is, I guess, the final boss. Start relocated. See, it basically just told us we got to a checkpoint. Yeah, it's pretty cool. A lot of games back in the day didn't really tell you you got to a checkpoint. You know, you would just die and then realize there was a checkpoint. So, this was an early form of modern gaming checkpoint systems, actually, when you look at it. Where it actually kind of tells you you got to a checkpoint. See, I saved these missiles for the final boss just to make my life a little bit easier here. Now this guy has two forms. You have to basically destroy his first form, and then his second form pops out. I find it best to sort of stay low and then just like fly in really quickly. And the same goes with this form right here. Kind of just fly back and forth. You can use your mega shot. I think we got this, actually. You know, the more I play this final boss as I've gotten older, the easier of a time I have with it. Maneuvering back and forth really quickly is really important. Otherwise, you're just going to take lots of damage from him. Bam, like that. Or you can just, if you have a lot of lives, just stay up close, but I'd rather not burn through my lives just in case. But it looks like that's about it. We got it. And that, my friends, is Sub Terrania from start to finish. Not much of an ending, but do get a little nice, you know, slick looking animation. And that's basically it. And that's basically it. Let the credits roll. So yeah, guys, that was Sub Terrania. Again, one of my favorite Genesis games, and you know, of all the games you guys have probably seen me Let's Play over the years, I haven't really done any games quite like this one. You know, usually I do a lot of action games, platformers, shoot 'em ups, stuff like that, arcade style games. Sub Terrania is a little bit different. It's a mission-based game that requires a lot of memorization, and it's also a European developed game, which many of you guys know I'm not the hugest fan of typically, but this is definitely a great game. One of the most underrated Genesis games, I think. But again, it also kind of depends on your tastes in gaming. Like, this game is not going to be for everybody because of the gameplay style and because of its difficulty. I just made it look really, really easy, but the game is actually very difficult to master, which makes it even more rewarding when you do master it, because it is masterable. It's not like it's got a lot of randomized elements to it or anything like that. Every level is laid out the exact same way every time you play it, so there's none of that randomization stuff that can get in the way. No RNG, really. Well, there's probably a little RNG in terms of like the little fishes, the little fish swimming through the water and stuff like that. But great game. Definitely one of my favorites. Love the soundtrack. I think the graphics are great. For a 1993 title, it stands up very, very well today, I think. So there's Zyrinx software. This sub-team of Scavenger, they also made Scorcher, which is also happens to be one of my favorite racing games, and that was released on the Saturn as well as PC. So there's just a lot of attention to detail in this game. You'll notice how the screen actually fades out rather than just like cuts out black. So I always thought that was really cool too. There's a lot of good attention to detail in this game. It's a very well polished game. There you go, guys. So Sub Terrania, good stuff, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the Let's Play here. If you have any questions about this game or have any comments, feel free to just post them below, and I will get back to you. For anybody new to this channel, feel free to subscribe. I've got loads of Let's Plays and long plays on my channel, as well as reviews and casual reviews and all sorts of good stuff here for you guys to check out if you haven't been to my channel before. So thanks again for watching, guys. I will see you soon. Take it easy.